ask a few questions?
Yeah.
First of all, I mean, one of the problems with when using the yearbooks at statistical databases is, of course, that the tables, the names of tables actually change over a period. So it's hard to get, like what you said, consistent data.
Right.
How do you handle that problem?
Okay. The data we have, actually, if you see this private city stats, those data are not compiled from the statistical yearbooks. Actually, they're compiled by the central government, by National Bureau of Statistics. We cannot do that by ourselves. Mm-hmm. So for every the different regions, the province, cities, and their data, the same variables, you probably can find a difference between those index and released by the central government and the regional government are different. And the reasons, because the province, for example, each province maybe release their GDP. Then the central government, when they connect the GDP from different provinces, they have to have the quality check, have the central control, make some adjustment. And so the data from the different stats yearbooks, if you compare and put them together, that can be a big mistake. Because the data are not comparable. So the central government, the National Bureau of Statistics, will do some adjustment and then release the data at province and the city and the county neighbors.
That's the data you get directly from.
Right. So we don't do the data to collect it from different stats data put together. So that's something when maybe some vendors try to merge the data and from different sources put together, and you can probably make some big mistake. You try to sort you may think they are consistent, but they are not consistent. Okay. You think they are comparable, but they're not comparable.
That's what we have seen. We've seen some articles on China's emissions of CO2, right? If you add up the provincial statistics, they're much higher than the national statistics.
Right. But now the system in China, there are kind of changes that, and they start to change the system probably from last year. So the province say, only the upper government, they can release data from the lower government. Say the province GDP will not be released by the province, the Stats Bureau, but it will be released by central government.
Yeah.
Another question, I mean, if you want to participate in this China Data Lab project, I mean, one thing is how do you participate if you want to participate, and what do you want from the ones participating? The other thing is also you talk about public data and private data on your platform. Who owns the data in the end? Is it the individual researcher who still owns his own research and his own data that he's compiled, or how does it work?
Okay, for those data, say from the China, the data online, and we work out with our partners called All China Market Research Company. It's a company in China. They are spin-off from National Bureau of Statistics. So they actually own have the ownership of this database, and we are not make the data here. We help to build the database, help to build integrate the system for the data, the service. But they own the basically the copyright of this data service and database. But if for say the China Data Lab project, if the data are connected by the researchers or different vendors, then the different people keep their ownership.
They keep the ownership to the analysis, not to the data.
Yes.
Okay.